Hey guys, how's it going? Josh here. So I've seen Captain America Civil War 3 times now, and I've been reading a bunch of the rumor reports, stuff like that. So I thought I'd make a video on what we can expect in the MCU Spider-Man film titled Spider-Man Homecoming, which I believe comes out July of 2017. I might be wrong, but I think it's July of 2017. So let's get right into it. First thing first, Tom Holland Spider-Man. We know he will be a sophomore in high school, 15 years old, and I'm presuming he'll be going to Homecoming. So I'm gonna guess this movie will be in the fall. At least that's when it will be set, which would be interesting to see. Honestly, I'm really looking forward to seeing Tom Holland's Spider-Man portrayed more because it's really easy to do a good job in a movie like Civil War when really you only have to show your highlights, so to speak. You don't really have to carry the movie. So this will be interesting seeing him have to carry the movie more so than just kind of be there, do kind of a highlight reel of sorts with his character and then, be gone. I'm hoping we can see some more of him in school, like in the classroom, maybe studying, doing student things since they're putting such an emphasis on the student aspect of him as far as we know, all three films will it'll follow him in high school, sophomore, junior, and senior year respectively. The villain so far is the Vulture, as far as we know. What I'm expecting is Adrian Toomes will probably be a bad guy, and he will probably be a businessman of sorts, whose company will make the technology for the Vulture gear, which will probably be intertwined with the MCU to also be responsible for Falcon's gear. That'd be such an easy way to do it. It's a whole it's all connected thing that for them to pass it up would really make no sense. It's just a genius move to just kind of integrate it all right there. So I'm guessing that's what they're going to do with that. And they'll probably have maybe like Drago or another Vulture, a younger Vulture, be the actual physical foe Spider-Man fights. The only reason I say this is because it would be kind of weird to have Spider-Man fighting a 67-year-old on film. While it makes a lot of sense, in the comics, I just can't really see how they do it in film, especially with how strong Spider-Man actually is and how they're portraying him in comics. It'd just be really easy for him to, kill, Vulture really easily. And also, just kind of going with how they've been doing stuff, they really like their evil corporations. See Darren Cross, see basically every Iron Man villain so far. And yeah, so that's what I'm expecting from the Vulture. Tony Stark is also in this movie. What I'm expecting is the grant to come in. So in Civil War, we obviously know there's a grant involved. And or like Tony Stark says he gives Peter Parker a grant. I'm not expecting them to drop that. And a lot of times in comics and other media, Peter Parker is said to go to a magnet school. Now, a lot of magnet schools are expensive to some degree, especially for a really poor single income family such as Peter's, because it's just him and Aunt May, and usually they're portrayed as lower middle class, if anything. So I'm seeing this as he's going to go from being in public school, which he probably was in before, to a magnet school funded by a scholarship by Tony Stark. That's what I'm assuming is going to happen in regards to the this whole scholarship reward, grant reward thing with Tony Stark. And also he'll probably do a kind of mentor mentee program with Tony Stark also, I'm assuming. One of the really cool benefits we get from this version of Peter Parker Spider-Man is he actually makes his own webbing. The Andrew Garfield Spider-Man didn't do that. Tobey Maguire Spider-Man didn't do that. So I'm really expecting something to happen in this movie where Spidey is going to have to make a custom webbing, maybe a compound webbing, electrical webbing, anything like that. That'd be really cool to see, kind of using Stark's resources, because this is a situation, they could really use that to really let Peter's intellect and ingenuity shine. Because obviously without Tony Stark's resources, he wouldn't really probably be able to make half the stuff he has. I'm interested in how he's even able to make his, webbing, honestly, with the probably minimal resources he has at his disposal. I'm also interested in seeing how the Sokovian Accords play a part, because we obviously know Tony is pro Accords, but at the same time, that means Spider-Man would have to register, technically. So I'm really interested in seeing how this works. I'm also interested in seeing just how, spread across New York he will protect. Is he just going to be in Queens? Is he going to protect the whole city? What's the border here? Because if he's going to Hell's Kitchen, are we going to get maybe an Easter egg, a nod to the whole Defender stuff? or are they just going to completely ignore that? I mean, that remains to be seen, obviously. But I'm really looking forward to it. In regards to love interests, I'm expecting a Liz Allen love interest. They said Zendaya's character isn't going to be a love interest, and I believe them in that regard because Marvel's pretty much usually upfront about who's going to be a love interest. So I'm guessing they've already done Gwen Stacy in the previous movies. They've already done Mary Jane in previous movies. So they'll either do Mary Jane again because Mary Jane wasn't in Amazing Spider-Man 2 since they cut her out. They cut Shailene Woodley, her parts out. So they could easily do that again. I doubt they'll do Gwen anytime soon again, just because of how recent it was. And maybe Liz Allen. I could see them doing Liz Allen because of how they did Liz Allen's interpretation in Spectacular Spider-Man. And that was so well received by fans. I can't see Marvel Studios ignoring that because they love adapting well-received storylines into their stuff. Just, if you've noticed, they usually like to cherry pick the best parts of like the Ultimate Universe and mix it with the best parts of 616. At least that's how they've liked doing it so far. And then obviously they change things up as they want to. Look at Civil War, for example. It's quite different from the comic book version of the event. So that's what I think we could really expect from the MCU Spider-Man movie at this point, with just what we know as of May 2016. I'll probably make another video later with an update on my thoughts on it when we get more information. But comment below with what you guys think. Do you think what I say is accurate? Do you think it's not accurate? I'm expecting Flash Thompson and all those characters too. In regards, for Venom, what I'd love to see them do is maybe have Venom be the black symbiote for Spider-Man for a whole movie before he becomes Venom, just so we could really feel that bond, that attachment between the two. Because I always feel like they expedite that when in reality, in the comics continuity and in real life, Spider-Man had the black suit for quite some time, especially even before he knew it was a sentient organism, such as the symbiote as we know it today. So I'm really looking forward to this reboot. They can do a lot with it, especially because they've already had 2 Spider-Man franchises beforehand. So there's really no reason to really kind of screw it up, so to speak. Especially with all the resources Disney and Marvel Studios has at this point. Like there's no excuse. So yeah, comment below what your guys' thoughts, and I'll see you guys later.